Welcome back, everybody. This is She and I. I am your host, Beloved. And like always, I have my very special host with me, India Marie and Beloved, the husband and wife duo you didn't know you need, but you got us and we are here to stay. This is the best thing to happen on a Tuesday. Well, damn it, since Monday. Give it up for yourself one time. Hell yeah. Why would you turn me up? What the fuck? Guess what? We're in a new location. And guess what? We have a special guest. I have to take the time to give it up for our special guest, Kristin, one time.
Hello, everybody.
So I didn't do that proper. I have had numerous of talks with Kristin about babies and birth, and she's an expert. She has her own business, and I'm gonna let her talk about it. You talk about it because I don't want to mess it up. Okay. And then we'll jump in.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm Kristin Mejia, and I'm the founder and CEO of Homeland Heart Birth and Wellness Collective.
Homeland Heart, give it up one time.
You know what's funny?
Hold on, where are we recording live from right now?
Oh, we are recording live from Homeland Heart Birth and Wellness Collective.
Her office is
My
nice too.
office.
It's super
It is
nice.
very
She got a
nice.
big screen right there. I want to watch football. We ain't talking about no baby. We talking about Sunday night football. What's up?
You know what's funny is
What's that?
that many years ago, our first encounter with Kristin, you know the business that we're always talking about that we don't actually ever talk about? She was...
You don't remember that?
She came to us.
Yeah.
She was, I guess you would call it, she
Yeah,
was
yeah.
A student in a class
Yes. Yeah, right.
that Barrett was teaching. And that, I wish I could remember the year because she
It was a
walked
long
up-
time ago.
She walked up at the end. You know, we gave her certificate, and she was like, "When you're ready to have a baby, I'm a doula." And she gave me her card.
And I was like,
So-
what the at the time, what in the world is a doula? I'm gonna try not to curse. It's gonna be a good episode. And did I ask you that?
I don't think so.
I was
No,
young.
I don't think so.
probably was.
That had to
But
be
I don't
like,
think we had babies on our
nah.
mind. Like it was babies
Y'all
on
were
our
like
radar.
fresh,
I don't think you
young
had
couple. I think I had that.
You had a
was,
perm.
I was still never
sheen.
had a perm. Just
A relaxer.
still rocking the straight.
No, you had a whole. I
rocking
remember.
the
She
mixed
had a
girl
good
straight
press.
hair.
Don't
Yeah. Rocking the Dominican press.
Don't let this Bohemian princess fool y'all right here. She had a relaxer.
Yeah,
but
that was
anyway.
like Kennedy was a baby. That had to have been like 6 or 7 years
I'm
ago.
gonna find out what
because
it
he's
is.
about to be 8.
Find out what it is now. I'm gonna go find
Yeah.
out what
And
it
I
is.
was new. I was a brand new doula. I had just finished training. And like
Yeah.
I remember when I left my training being like, what am I supposed to do? Like, do I just walk up to people that are pregnant
was
and
dope,
like, what
though.
is that? But y'all were so cute and so like, I was like,
Here
oh
we
my
go.
God, I want them to have a baby and I want to help.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
wanted to come like, you got to do that stroke again because you're not gonna have a baby with that light stroke.
Right.
You
Yeah.
got to go
Flip
heavy
it. All right,
over here.
You got to get on top of it.
And when I did get pregnant with Blake, she couldn't be my doula
Because
because
I was pregnant.
we were pregnant at the same time.
And I remember, oh my God, I was so sad. I was like, all I wanted to do was be her doula.
And you were the
I
first
was
person we
missing
thought
the
about, too.
opportunity.
Well, and guess what? She still can't be my doula because she has decided to advance her career and is
Yeah,
currently
hold up.
studying midwifery. And it's how many babies away are we?
I'm like 15 babies away from sitting for my exam.
It's super dope though. That's what's up.
From sitting
Yeah.
from her exam to
that's the
be
way you
a
advance.
certified midwife.
That's the way you advance.
Yeah,
You see what
yeah.
I'm saying? So talk about this, right? Because for everybody out there who may be like me,
What the hell is
the
a midwife?
impaired, yeah. Not even that though. So I want you, let's start at the top.
Let's start all the way from the beginning, right?
What's the difference between a doula and a midwife? But first, what is a doula and what is a midwife? Because if you're like me, your knowledge isn't there.
Who knows? Right. Okay. So obviously get this question all the time.
I know you did.
What is a doula? A doula is a person that is supporting another person during their pregnancy, labor, birth, and postpartum period. So we call it the antepartum. It's the whole thing. The midwife is similar to an OB. So that's deeper medical training, right? So when we're talking about who's going to support you during labor and birth, we're talking about your spouse, your doula, your mom, your whoever, right? Yep. Those are those people. When we're talking about who's going to deliver your care, who is going to check your labs, who's going to draw your blood, who's going to do your glucose screening, that is the option between a midwife and an OBGYN. So midwives are not only home birth. So a lot of times people don't know.
The first thing I think about. See, oh my God. I thought the only time you needed a midwife is
if you want to do a home birth. No. There are certified professional midwives that deliver at home. That's what I'm going to certify for.
That's what's up.
And then there are certified nurse midwives that deliver in the hospital. Certified nurse midwives can deliver either in a hospital or at home. Certified professional midwives can only deliver at home.
Ooh. So you're going for the latter.
Like so I'm going for, to do both. For the former, CPM.
You have no interest in being in the hospital.
I have no interest in being in the hospital at all.
Why not? If you don't mind me asking.
No, not at all. I mean, so my entire life revolves around setting fire to the healthcare industry.
Let's go.
And rebuilding it. So I don't want to deliver babies in the hospital, but I recognize that every pregnant person is not going to be eligible to have babies at home. And for that reason, I still need to do the work to ensure that hospitals are safe places for Black women to give birth, for Black birthing people to have babies, right? So I still need to make sure that the OR, where you may have a C-section, has a doctor that's going to do it right. And that the hospital has policies that's going to allow your support person to be there with you, right? I worked hard on the policy over at St. Thomas and now working on that policy at Centennial to be able to allow doulas in the OR with our clients when they have C-sections. That's scary. And we just had this whole plan for you to have a baby through your vagina and now it's coming out of your tummy and you're like looking at me and I'm like, well, sorry, bye. Like, what? What is that?
That's not cool.
That's not okay.
That's not cool.
That is not okay. And then you have a partner that's like shaking, trying to put all the things on and you're just like, I don't know what's going to happen. And so, still like I've had a C-section or like supported a C-section at St. Thomas and been able to walk the partner through getting dressed. Then I get dressed and we go in together and I'm able to support him and I'm like, yep, they're doing everything fine. And because I have these conversations with hospital admin, and this might sound a little extreme, but having hospital administration understand that in the Black maternal care crisis, doctors are to Black birthing people what police are to Black men.
Oh, hold up. I got something for you. You know I got it.
They are. And unfortunately, right now, they require supervision.
Wow.
And that's unfortunate for me because that's not my job.
Yeah. And you can't.
My job is not to supervise you.
Yeah, your job
and make sure
is
that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Bingo. That's your supervisor's job. Yeah. So I will speak to your supervisor and ensure that we're going to do this correctly. Because when I step out of the hospital, this still needs to be a safe place. It's like mommy. Like, I'm putting you in the bed. And when I walk out of this room,
don't get out of that bed.
Don't get out of the bed.
And you know what happens as soon as you walk out of the room.
There they go, tiptoeing around. Okay, don't make me come back in this room. Don't make me come back in here. If I have to go back to school to be a nurse midwife, I'm going to be real upset. I'm going to be real upset.
This is not what I wanted to do.
This is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I will do it if that's what it takes.
So a question about that too, though. Is there some form of like lobbying that goes on to get that done? Because like for me, talking to you now, you seem like you are like a lobbyist almost.
I am.
She's a midwife lobbyist.
That's funny that you say that because that's like some of the secret work that I do behind closed doors. I have sat in some sessions and worked with some legislators, and there's I've been working on a bill for a couple of years that is going into session.
She doing everything
in January. So we'll see
give
what
it
happens.
up one time.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, and that will be. Just like to say a little bit about it. I know, like, I get a lot of questions about the work that I do is explicitly for Black people.
For sure.
And of course, when I'm in meetings with state people and all the things, you can just imagine all the questions and all the things.
Why are you only for Black people?
Exactly. And so what I tell people all the time is, if we attack the vulnerable and fix it for the vulnerable, then it gets fixed for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
So the bill that is going up into session that I've been working on with Healthy and Free Tennessee. Big shout out to Healthy and Free Tennessee. But this bill is going to cover all doulas in the state of Tennessee. So it's not just like, I do what I do for my doulas here. I'm biased. These are my babies. Like, and we only train Black people.
I heard her a minute ago.
I know. Mommy had to have a whole conversation earlier.
Demeanor fool y'all, right? She's serious about her craft.
Kristin plays no games.
And she's still out there. See,
Yeah.
so
She went hard
they still
on
want to
her,
work here. I give the world to my doulas, and I work my ass off for my doulas, but I also know that it's going to benefit every doula eventually. So that's big fingers crossed, because hopefully we'll be able to move forward.
And it's super dope. And the coolest thing about it is seeing your passion about it. And a lot of people, like you come through with the passion. There's no doubt about it that this is what God put you on earth to do with an F. Earth.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a broad question, I feel like. But, I feel like a lot of first-time moms, they're like, okay, I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to find my OB. This is what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And then they experience that first birth, and they realize, like, wow, I didn't like the way a lot of this went. Like, I don't know if this was right. I don't know if this was right. I think they kind of played me here. Mm-hmm. Like, you just go through did they necessarily have to do that because it made me feel like this? And so I want you to kind of explain, like, why one would choose
because I'm so confused.
A home birth over a hospital birth. Mm-hmm. And if you can't just get around it or like get out of your own head and be like, okay, I still think I need to go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. What questions need to be in place for your OB?
She asked you all the good
How much time y'all got?
What time is it?
To ensure that you are safe and you have all of the boxes checked off the list.
Okay.
It's a loaded question. Too,
yeah,
right?
It's a very loaded question.
I like it though.
And I know that Kristin she has 2 children. She has experienced both the hospital birth as well as the home birth.
Yeah.
Plus she has the professional knowledge to speak on it.
For both. Yeah. So I will, okay, and I also want to say this. So I am a doctor's child. I believe.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my mom's an ER doctor. Retired now, but I grew up a doctor's child. And my dad was a chiropractor. I believe in Western medicine. I believe in modern medicine. I believe in hospitals.
I do too.
I believe in the necessity
facts
of medicine.
Come on now.
So I will say that. And I always like to say that because at some point I'm trying to coax my mom into actually being my partner. And so understanding that like she's a hospital person and I'm not a hospital person and we will at some point come together and coexist, that's a big deal for me. And it is very important that my clients understand that I believe in the hospital because my job is not to keep you at home like by any means necessary. That's not my job as a midwife. My job as a midwife is to give you standardized care that still goes above and beyond and is very familiar and comfortable and patient-centered and family-centered and you-centered, right? I'm just here to help. That's not My job is to not build your baby for you. It's not to deliver. I tell people all the time, I don't deliver babies. That's not my job. That's your job. You need to deliver the baby. My hands are here. I'm catching it. That's all I'm here to do.
That's a good way to put that.
Because that's not my job. And my job is to also check and make sure you're delivering the baby okay. Should that not be happening, then we're going to the hospital. It just is what it is. I mean, okay, so what? Right? We need a healthy baby. We need a healthy mom, right? It's a low bar. Let me also say, okay?
Say the bar
is low. Healthy mommy, healthy baby is a very low bar, but it's a necessary bar. So why would somebody choose a home birth over a hospital birth?
Can I jump in and say something?
Yeah.
Because she, as you probably already know, because you guys have talked, wants to do it at home. And I am under the impression, like, man, we going to the hospital. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm westernized. I'm 100% Western. Call me what you want. I love Benadryl. I love NyQuil when I'm sick. If there needs to be a baby delivered, let's take that to the hospital.
I take medicine for nothing. He takes medicine for everything.
If I got an itch, I'm putting some cortisone 10 on it.
Oh my
She's
God.
not. She's going to get some tea, rub it on her thigh, and then say it feels better. Not me. Walmart got a whole pharmacy section that lets you know what you need for an itch. Now, with that being said, too, I want you to talk about for...
We clash a lot on this.
I can imagine.
All the time.
Wow.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Blake.
Yeah, Blake.
And him wanting to give him stuff. And I'm like,
that's not necessary.
The healing is in the food. I believe that.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead and answer the question.
See? So I'll tell you why I chose a home birth over a hospital birth.
Okay.
So my first birth was a hospital birth. And I had a baby. Like, it was like...
Not magical.
It was not like... I didn't need the hospital. And having a baby was the first time I had ever been a patient in a hospital in my entire life. I was 27 years old, and that's the first time I ever been admitted to the hospital.
No way. For real?
To have a baby.
That's impressive.
Thanks.
That's
I'm pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Doctor's kid. I'm pretty healthy over here.
You got cheat code.
Right.
You got cheat code on there.
Right. So I mean, when it was time for the second kid, I was in this work already.
Okay.
So when I got pregnant, with my son on birth control. I didn't know anything about doulas, midwives, none of that kind of stuff. Right. Oh my
got right past that birth control.
God. He better be something special.
Yes, man.
So I joked that I was in denial for 8 months. Right.
The whole pregnancy.
I just could not come to grips. I just could not do it. I never wanted to be a parent. It was horrible. And then I was sick my whole pregnancy. Just the whole thing was horrific. And then I had to be induced. So, and knowing what I know now, right? Right. Hindsight's 2020.
For sure.
I did not have to be induced. If I would have been my doula, I would have been like, girl, do not show up to that damn appointment.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yes. Intrauterine growth restriction, for anybody who knows about that. It's the baby not growing to turn so your baby and your belly height should coincide, the weeks of gestation and the height of your belly should coincide. And so what was happening was that I was getting 36 weeks pregnant, 37 weeks pregnant. I was going up, and Kennedy was not going up. We were sitting right at 33, 32, 33. They were finally okay, he's not really growing.
Let's get him out of there.
And what she just mentioned is what I'm being closely monitored for by my OB right now.
Yeah.
I'm nervous too, y'all.
Right.
I'm nervous already. I'm like, hey, what needs to be done?
Nothing.
I'm rolling with you. Listen, I'm rolling with the professional.
Nothing needs to be done.
I believe, if anybody I believe in is Kristin. I'm looking
Does
around.
everybody know what we're having?
No.
Okay.
I've almost said it at least on every episode.
Girl, we would have to edit the whole thing.
I've almost said it a few times.
Woo! See, it is. Let me tell you something. It does not pay to be in these places of privilege all the time. Okay, like
we got the name and everything. To be honest with y'all,
okay, all right,
we got the whole name, the whole
thing,
like all of it.
All right, okay, y'all don't get to know. So I ended up having a home birth because I found a Black home birth midwife. So I also have a rule, like not that I have a million kids, but I don't do white doctors. The white hands will not be the first hands that touch my children. That's not a thing. We're not doing that.
I like that.
No, I'm not racist. Maybe I am. Whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. So that in itself is like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah. And I, being in this work the second time around, knew about home births and all that kind of stuff. But I also knew that what I knew of midwives were that they were white.
That's the only thing I knew about them too.
However, right? So sit with that for a moment.
Okay.
Because Black midwives delivered white systemic racism.
That's a fact. Golly.
There was a time that midwifery was only known to be a Black profession. There was a time, and so I'm going to tell you a little history about midwifery.
Break me off. I don't know how I feel about the name midwifery too. I'm still trying to get into that.
Well,
she said a lot. Midwifery.
So midwives began like with us, starting with the fact that who was going to deliver our babies?
Bingo, I got it now.
Yeah. Yep. Who's catching our babies? Nobody. So we got to figure out how to do that. So over time, we figured out how to do it. We figured out how to do it. And now what happens? They want us to do it for them too.
Yep.
So we start doing it for them too. Everything's great. We having all these healthy white babies. We having all these healthy Black babies. All these things are happening. Everything's cool. Well, then medicine starts to develop. J. Marion Sims comes along. He starts experimenting on Black women. He starts doing all these different things without anesthesia. J. Marion Sims is his name. There's a big statue erected in his honor in Montgomery, Alabama at their state Capitol building.
Definitely.
Gotta love the South.
Definitely.
So they come along experimenting. There's then this development, and we decide that babies can be born in hospitals. But who's not allowed in the hospital?
Black women.
We can't even have babies in the hospital. People. So our midwives still have to keep working and delivering and delivering and delivering. Well, then here comes this turn of events where we start deciding that Black people are ignorant. Well, I mean, we've known that, right? Forever. For sure. Black people don't know anything. But now that we have hospitals and now that we've taught white people how to do this, we don't need the Black people to do it anymore. So now we're going to tell everybody that they don't know what they're doing.
To just salt the waters.
Oh, yeah. And they Black too? No, they can't possibly know what they're doing. Come to our hospital. Come to me. Come let me be your doctor. I'll do it. She doesn't know what she's doing. So out goes the Black midwifery profession. There are maybe 1 to 2% of midwives in the country are Black.
That was my next question. What about here in Nashville? Do you know, like... Okay.
So
what 2 plus?
I guess
3 plus.
I'm going to try to be as accurate as I possibly can. Oh yes, and a disclaimer. So I am a student midwife. I'm not an independent midwife. Do not get in my inbox.
But she's about to be. Never play yourself.
Maybe come to my inbox. We might be able to have a conversation. But I am not a licensed certified midwife. So that's very important. I have to make that disclaimer. Or else the state won't actually let me get a license.
15 away.
So actively practicing Black midwives in Nashville.
Yeah. Well, in and around. You got to be accurate. I think
there's one for home. Like licensed one. That one.
That one. That I interviewed.
That one.
That I did not like.
That one.
Damn, what did she watch this? She might talk bad to you. Then we have to beat her husband up. That's crazy.
Dead. So there's that one. And then the midwife that I have, which is
the one that would have delivered this baby. But this baby wants to be born around the holidays.
Yeah, holiday babies are tough, man. is not really delivering babies at home. I think she works at Vanderbilt, so she's going to be delivering at the birth center over there soon.
Okay.
I believe.
That's what's
Okay,
up.
none of this is fact. I don't know. I don't work for Vanderbilt. Well, yeah. So like, wait a second. That's and then there's Tanisha. I don't even know if she delivers anymore. There was another midwife over at the Vandy Birth Center when it was Baby and Co.
I remember that.
Tanisha Douglas, that's her last name, Douglas.
TD.
But she is teaching now more,
Okay.
and so
Teaching how to be a midwife.
teaching midwifery at Vandy. Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, there may be another one at the Midtown, like the Vanderbilt Midtown Nurse Midwives group.
Yes.
There's like 2 there because I know
there
someone
are
who
2
delivered
over
there.
The point is,
but
if
yeah,
you can
so
name 'em
that we
all-
can point them out like that.
Exactly.
That's
I was
the
gonna say,
thing
that's
that
the
I'm like,
bad
okay,
thing.
wait, yeah. There's 2 there. There's one there, yeah. And
it's
if you
bad.
ask me how many white midwives were in the city, I couldn't do that for them, right?
Per capita, it's a bunch
Yeah.
of them.
So midwifery belonged to us at some point, like so many things.
Sure.
And then it became a white people thing, and then they took it and then decided like, oh no, this is not for black people anymore. And so a lot of people, when we think of midwives, we think of midwifery, we think of white women. And for me, I didn't seek I didn't seek a midwife because I imagined they were all going to be white, and I don't want white people delivering my babies. So I happened to be at a baby show, like doing
Kristin, what is a baby show?
what is it? An expo, you know,
Okay.
like that. I'm like, what?
baby
When it
parade?
came out of my mouth, I was like, baby show. What the hell? So I was at
Showing
this
off your
thing
baby.
with my other business, with the Express Yourself business, with
Yep.
the breastfeeding booth and whatever. And I was pregnant with Cruz, my daughter. And Milan walked by my table. She just happened to walk by my table, and she put her card. You know, she was like, "Oh, you're a breastfeeding counselor. That's great. Like, I'm here. This is my information." And she gave me her card, and I looked at her card, and I was like, "You're a midwife?" Like, and I kept reading, and it said, "Have your baby at home," and it said that she took 10 care, and I was on 10 care at the time. I was like,
This is lit.
"Wait a minute, what kind of unicorn?" Okay, all right, cool.
A midwife unicorn.
I was like, okay, you gonna hear from me. Milan was my 3rd care provider in that pregnancy.
3rd? You shuffle them around like that?
I don't mess around.
I
I don't mess around with that.
I had 3.
I do not play about that.
That's wild.
If I walk in your office and that shit feels a tiny bit off,
I was about to say, what gives you the feeling, though?
You
Like,
will
how
not
you
look
walk
in my
in?
vagina at
Okay,
all.
okay.
Absolutely not. My first doctor was one that I had gone to in high school, and I went to him at first because I had just moved. I was living in Antioch when I had Kennedy, and then I moved to Gallatin. That's where we lived when I got pregnant with Cruz, and so I didn't want to drive all the way back to Stonecrest. So I was like, I'll just go to the doctor that I know of right now, just so I can get early prenatal care. Early prenatal care, okay? Like, you do not have to like the first doctor that tells you you're pregnant. Just go get the test, get the pregnancy test, get the care. So I go, the very first appointment, I'm sitting there, I'm breastfeeding Kennedy. He knows I'm there because I'm pregnant. He walks in and he says, "Oh no, you're gonna have to stop that."
Stop what?
I was like, "Excuse me?
Stop feeding your kid?
What?"
Stop feeding my
Because she was
son?
breastfeeding
Because
Kennedy and she was pregnant with Cruz.
Breastfeeding while you're pregnant can put extra strain on the body. But that is if you are a high risk pregnancy.
Yeah.
I am a very low risk pregnancy. I'm healthy. Like, I don't have those problems. And I'm not at risk for preterm labor. It really is for people who are at risk for preterm labor. If you've had an experience with preterm labor, if you had experience with miscarriages and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Because breastfeeding sends an extra surge of oxytocin through your body. It's just like a lot of hormones that are going through your body.
Okay.
Your body's got a lot of hormones going on because you're developing a baby. There's just a lot of clashing that can happen. So yes, it can be dangerous. But the fact that he just walked in the room and was like, "Oh no, we ain't doing that." Like, fam, first of all, you ain't even my doctor. Like,
Hey, you know
I don't even know what you're talking about. Because
Remove the tip
also,
from the kid's
I
mouth.
don't do male OBs. Like, that's just, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My
I
first
ain't
one
got
with Blake was not only was he male, but he was a white male at that.
Oh, man.
And so I left him at like 14 weeks.
Yeah. So
But
I let
see-
him do like the early stuff.
I think a man knows his way around a vagina pretty well.
I'm sure he does, but he doesn't know his way through pregnancy.
That's a fact.
I'll never doubt that
there.
a man
You
knows
got
a
me.
vagina. That's fine.
You got me right
trust
there.
Me, y'all know what you know. But you don't know what you don't know, and that's not helpful for me when I'm building a baby in my body,
sure
and
right.
you've never done that before. So
because I will literally tell him stuff he literally has no idea, like what I'm even remotely. I'm like, Barrett, my vagina feels very heavy. There's like a lot of pressure down there,
and they're just like, what? I have a friend who was going to a male doctor and switched at 37 weeks because the man told her that back labor wasn't a thing. I was like,
Blake's whole labor was in my back.
I don't know about that because if the baby's sunny side up, then the labor's going to be happening in the back. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because everything y'all saying.
And then, like his labor caused me to have back pain for a
while, sciatica,
a long time.
Yeah,
after I had him.
And let men telling you ain't no back labor. Like, oh, all right, fam, cool. But you miss a line because you keep putting your wallet in your back pocket. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
Oh, guess I'll take this out.
And he won't go to the chiropractor to get it fixed.
But you want to tell me how to have a baby?
Chiropractor,
okay.
$100 a visit. I don't need to go to the chiropractor. I can pop my back out when I'm working that thing.
For all the chiropractors listening, please help Barrett. Lord of mercy.
My back loose as a goose. Don't get me started.
So that's how I ended up choosing a home birth. Literally, like Milan walked across my face, and I was like, "Oh, you're available."
Ooh,
Milan was one of the ones that I interviewed with, and she would have taken me. I fell in love with her.
She's amazing.
First of all, I don't know any doctor or midwife or what. I don't know anybody who you're literally gonna pick up the phone, call them, they call you back in like 15 minutes.
That's a fact.
And from their personal number, and we'll just sit there and chit. I was on the phone with this lady for like almost an hour. And she was like, listen, your body knows what to do at home. She was like, if you need me to call your husband tomorrow and explain this to him, I will absolutely
I got Kristin now, but you can call me too.
Listen.
Somebody need to call me.
She was so thorough in explaining everything. Even like I said, we haven't really had any issues with my current OB, but I think
like her too.
Errs on the side of caution.
All the time.
Every OB errs on the side of caution.
So instead of just
they're trained on saving.
Yeah.
This girl got the knowledge over
So
here.
I'm like, so she'll say like, okay, this could be a concern, but I'm like, okay, but what does it even mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when I went to the doctor last week, I was like, do I really have to get ultrasounds every visit now?
They're $100 a piece.
Until I reach my deductible in another $300. $300.
That is so unnecessary.
I got good insurance too.
Yeah. And I was like, can't you just like measure the belly like they used to do?
She don't.
No, they haven't measured my belly because I've been getting ultrasounds. I had my appointment last week. I had a very thorough ultrasound.
This is why I have to give the disclaimer that I'm not like anti-Western medicine. I'm not anti. I'm anti that shit. Right. Like what is that? What are we doing? We had a mom come in here for one of our village prenatal sessions at our childbirth education class. And I measure everybody. I listen to everybody's bellies. It's like it's a whole village situation. Sure. I learned that from Milan. So I was in village prenatal, which it's group prenatal classes. So you're never alone. Everybody's got all the questions. It's great prenatal care, actually. So once I'm certified and you come into my care, you're going to be in prenatal care with other people. So keep that in mind. But I pulled up her shirt to measure her belly and listen to her baby, and I'll consent every time. I'm always asking, okay, I'm going to touch your belly. Is that okay? And she cried and was like, you're the first person that has touched me, that has touched my belly. I was like, wait, you go to the doctor, right? She was like, yeah, but they don't do that. Like they just ask me questions and they'll listen to the baby, but like, that's it. I was like, you're kidding me. Like, no one's feeling for where the baby is. Yeah. No one. And so with the difference between like midwifery care and OB care and like, why would you choose one over the other? It's that you're having a baby.
Right on.
This is a very intimate experience. And if someone is so tied up in policies and liabilities and, oh my God, what's the hospital going to say if I touch you the wrong way or whatever? Like, don't get me wrong. We all should be thinking about that at all times.
For sure.
But, yo, really?
Like, touch your belly.
And not to put all the blame on the physician, because we live in a sue happy world.
Lord have mercy, we do.
People will sue a doctor for anything.
I should have sued Blake's doctor.
They will. It just, I mean, we do not have to make this a conversation. Something put on your brain though. But I noticed that the little league boy that fell out of the bunk bed. You guys know about that?
No, talk about it.
So some little boy that is, I think he's like 11. A month or so ago, he was in the Little League World Series. And so he and his team, they go travel. Wherever they go travel, they play this game. And the boy is sleeping in the top bunk. Yeah. And he rolls off of the top bunk while he's
broke
asleep,
his arm, didn't
he? Like got a concussion.
Whoa, shit.
Like really bad. Like the results are pretty bad. He had to go through physical therapy, all the stuff.
I'm so against bunk beds.
Well, turns out his family has decided to sue the bed makers and the Little League company.
No, they didn't.
Are you kidding me? First of all, y'all can say whatever you want to say about me. I do not care.
I'm rolling with you. Come on.
Listen, if your 11-year-old can't sleep in a top bunk without rolling out, something else is an issue here, sweetie, not the bunk bed maker, honey.
You got a bad sleep habit.
What are you talking about here? And there's not a chance that as a parent, you didn't know that your kid could not sleep on the top bunk. Yeah. My kids have bunk beds and them shits are separate. Yeah. Bro. We did top and bottom for a little while and they was being inappropriate. So,
jumping off the top of the bed. I know.
Kids. Yeah. So they got separated. But you know your kids. You know your 11-year-old can't sleep on no top bunk. Don't do that. That's not fair.
4-year-old can't get.
I was going to say Blake jumps off of everything in our house. There's no way we get him a bunk bed.
That's not fair.
Never.
And so
we're actually supposed to be getting him a new bed this weekend, but I'm looking for the one that's closest to the ground. I'm looking for the one that's closest to the ground.
Straight to IKEA, bro. Yes. It's that. So remember too that the care that you receive from an OB or someone in a hospital is based on the fact that somebody has tried to sue them for less. So think about that too. When your doctor won't deliver your baby a certain way, like doctors don't vaginally normally, OBs are not going to vaginally deliver a breech baby. But I would do that at home. Like that. It's just a breech baby. It's just the ass coming first. It's not that big deal. It's like, okay, it's as big as a head. Like it's no big deal. Legs come out first. Okay, whatever. We're fine. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. But something has happened in a hospital. Something has happened to this doctor before that they're like, nope, no, I'm not doing that.
Can't do that.
And as a doctor's child, I know that as a doctor's child.
Hey, I'm a little.
So we have to be careful consumers. We have to be personally responsible consumers. Ooh. Don't go talking shit about a doctor that you think is trash, but you also still let them deliver your baby. So who's trash?
You are the doctor.
What are we doing here? Because basically you just supported somebody in their trash craft. What is that? What are we doing here, people?
You must be the garbage man.
You must be the garbage man. Like, what's happening here?
Come on.
So we have to be responsible consumers before we go attacking the provider. But know that the provider has their guard up for a reason.
Right.
They are protected by policies and procedures that sometimes are not going to let them do the things that you want them to do. And no, sometimes those things are not far out things. They're just not gonna do it. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like how do you think we got to water birth in hospital?
I was about to ask about that next.
So many people were like, "No, come on, let's do it." And the hospital's like, "Oh no, ooh." A couple of people had to do it, and we say, "Look,
it's just water.
Look, it's just water.
Yeah,
look at that.
Put your foot in it.
You gotta be careful with that because you make a plan to birth in water and
boop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's not available. Too many people are having a baby today.
Either two available or like me, meconium in your water. You can't use the birth water.
It's just, that sucks.
I got a question though. You just hit me. Hold on, let me tell you. You used to jump right in on my question. I said I had a question.
No. Hold on.
Like I ain't even here.
So if you were to go to the hospital, because like the clinic that I go to, they also have a midwifery group. Mm-hmm. So they have midwives in the practice as well.
Right.
If you were to choose a midwife in the practice versus an OB, is that different, or are they still following those same type of policies?
They still have the
more
same
flexibility?
Okay. Not particularly, no. Now, in the type of care you receive, absolutely. So the difference between, man, y'all, and for those of you that are pregnant right now, it's about to blow your mind. So the whole, like, let's start checking you at 34 weeks, 35 weeks.
Checking you what? Like, see if you're ready for the baby? Oh, I don't know. Okay.
To see if you're dilated, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm not doing it again.
I had one client who she texted me at her appointment while they were waiting on her to change her clothes. And she was like, yo, I'm at my appointment. And the nurse just came in and threw me a gown and told me to take my clothes off so I could get checked, and walked out of the room. I was like, what?
Bust that thing
35 weeks. And she's like, yeah, here you go. Do this so you can get checked. I was like, no, don't. She was like, do I have to do that? I was like, no, you do not have to do that.
You remember when they checked me? They checked me. I started bleeding. It was a whole thing.
Oh, my God. It was a lot. I do remember that.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
I didn't know they were doing, though.
It's completely unnecessary. And a midwife, even if you're in a doctor-midwife practice, a midwife is not even going to bring that up.
Oh.
Okay, not to say that well.
A good midwife won't even bring that up. Some bad midwife, they're coming there and tell you to bust that thing open at 35. Let me stick my hand in there to see where you're at. A good midwife know what to do.
So Milan never checked me.
Because it don't matter.
It's not like the baby's gonna come. Like, now, if we are laboring, we've been at it for a while, and I haven't seen you do anything that makes me feel like we're transitioning, then maybe, like, in labor, I'm gonna be like, hey, I think maybe you mind if I check you? Like, let's see what the baby's doing, what's going on. But that'll probably be the only time. And you will really have to be stalled. Like we've been here for 10 hours and we're still laughing and joking and having conversations. Like, okay, India, no, something's not right.
Something ain't right.
No, bust it open. I'm checking it. No, but it's that. Otherwise, we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that. And remembering that, and this is so unfortunate, it is the schedule thing, right? As human beings, we have lives, we want to be on schedules, we want to do all the things, but the same thing, I tell my clients this all the time, we've not ever in the history of America had a draft for OBGYNs. Not a single OB was forced to be an OB.
That's a fact.
There's not a single birthing professional in this country
that was forced
to be a birthing professional. We all know babies come when they feel like coming, and we still choose it. Yeah. So you that don't want to deliver babies around Christmas, New Year, all the rest of that, when India called me, I was like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I don't care. And if I did, it would be on my Instagram. Because my holiday is October. Everybody knows, don't ask me to do nothing for you or your kids in October. Because my birthday is in October. So
your birthday?
It's the 23rd.
Oh, we gonna party.
Yeah, so like last year, I spent the whole month in Puerto Rico.
What's that, a Gemini? What's that?
It's a Scorpio. Big Scorpio.
Scorpio, Gemini, June, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Gemini's June.
June, right? Scorpio.
Yeah, so other than that, I also recognize that there are going to be a host of people who are going to that are going to get turned away because they have a holiday baby.
Oh, for sure.
That puts coins in my pocket if I'm willing to deliver your baby on New Year's Eve.
Come on now, she's ready. If you are 15 away.
Even like the doula, there was a doula that Dr. Why can't I ever say her name? Dr. Milan. Milan. There was a doula that she recommended, but she works for what's the midwife group? We talked about it.
Roots.
Not Roots. There's another one.
Vines.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Roots,
but this
vines,
is
trees, apples.
Never even thought about that.
But she is a Black girl. Like I said, she was recommended, and she can't take me. Yeah. Like there's so many people. Like I said, it's like the holiday thing.
Yeah.
My kids live pretty privileged lives, so they don't wait on holidays to be spoiled and all that. So they good.
Jesus Christ.
They all right.
Man finna get a whole.
I mean, and not saying it like that. Not like, we're balling out of control. But like, I've raised my kids differently, and holidays are usually our times for like traveling. Yeah. And I'm about to take my son out of town next week. So
yeah, I know you were gone for a whole 2 years. I feel like
I was gone for quite a little while. I had to leave the country for a while. Yeah.
Man, who you running from,
I
Queen?
leave the country at least once a year.
She was on the run, but now she's back to deliver these babies. Question on I had, because I'm a dad, obviously, right? Do you do like midwife classes for dads, meaning like a Lamaze type of vibe for like dads or something?
So I don't do them, but okay, a couple of things. I don't do them. Okay. We would like to start doing
them. Is there like a real thing that just make that
That is a thing. Okay. And so it's like a partner support class. What is important, so when I first became a doula, I was very nervous about that whole dynamic. Like, well, but she already has somebody to support her. Like, what am I supposed to do? And am I pushing him out of the way? Like, what's happening? Like, this is very weird, right? And then you realize, then as we grow as women, we learn more about men and you all's shortcomings.
Yeah, I agree. I needed
things that you can't handle, things you can handle, right? And so that is something that we're wanting to address in our Homeland Heart ministry group, and it's having groups during the prenatal period for men to come to and say, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, she was crying the other day because she spilled her tea, and then she's hollering at me because I asked her if she wanted some tea, and like, we get that. Look, you laughing? Okay, all right. So somebody that got hollered at asking for some tea. I see.
I told the story on here. We drove to 3 restaurants to get food. And it was my fault somehow that nobody had the food she was looking for. But somehow it was on me.
That's why we need dad groups, because we get it. We get it. And
it's very hard to feel like they're doing everything right.
Yeah.
Like, it's very hard.
Because they're not doing anything right.
Yeah, it's very easy to feel like they're not doing anything right. Which is kind of how I've been feeling lately, honestly.
It happens.
So, let me ask you this.
Talk about it.
In what ways can partners be better support people during pregnancy?
Listen, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, yes, because it's not you, it's her. Right? And I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry. But I've also been pregnant twice, and it was me twice. But And not to say that it's consciously her.
Yeah.
This is a subconscious shift that happens in our hormonal structure that we really cannot do anything about, right? Yes, I asked you to go get me food. Yes, we went to 3 different places and none of them had the food. Maybe if you would have been driving faster, we would have been able to get there before they closed, and I would have had the food I wanted. So it really is like, we're going to figure out a way to make you wrong.
You not lying.
And I think really that's why you need a support group the most.
Yeah.
Because how do you keep doing something wrong for someone and not lose your mind?
Yeah.
Right?
How
do you keep giving her everything she's asking you for? Every time you do it, it's wrong. The midwife is telling you, just keep doing it. Just keep doing what she's asking you. You're like, what the fuck is this?
I can't.
I can't do that. I just can't do it.
Well, we talking, we podding now. We podding.
So it is. It's like, you need some place to put all of that. You need some place to put all of that energy. And I promise you are not the only man that's like, bro, I'm not doing shit else. I'm done. I done rubbed her feet. Then she told me her feet was hurting. I rubbed her feet. Now she keeps saying it hurts. She don't want me to rub them no more. I put some oil on them. Then she said her feet too oily. Then she got in the shower and fell.
That's a fact. I cleaned out the tub the other day. I was nervous. I was spraying too much spray in there. I said, I'm about to get
cussed out. It did feel like it was too much spray because I could smell it.
I ain't saying that.
I could smell it.
Damn.
It is.
And I knew that he had used the stuff that I don't clean with anymore.
See, it's that. Man. It is. So I would say keep doing it. I say also making time to connect, to like really connect with each other throughout the pregnancy. Not about the pregnancy though.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. So, and I know it's hard because another kid.
Come on now.
That's a whole different podcast. But because that transition from 1 to 2.
We're going to talk about that too.
We're here for you.
We're going to have to talk about that.
We tell people all the time, just drop the baby at the door. We'll get it.
Yeah, babies
we'll get
it.
it.
It's babies.
All right, they got babies in here.
Just drop the baby at the door. We'll get it.
Babies
No
in the
worries.
other room right now. And moms.
Yeah, babies, moms, because we function as a village. So, sometimes people are drowning in parenthood and they need some place to catch their breath. So
that's why I said when I walked in and saw that was a beautiful thing, man. Babies,
Indy
moms.
was like, oh, it's a party here, yeah.
See what she said,
Yeah. I think the other, so connecting with one another, taking time to breathe, taking time to just sit and have a glass of water together, taking time to just like look into each other's eyes. Right, there are going to be things that you're going to be able to catch that she's not saying to you.
Oh, I catch it all.
I mean, yeah, right?
Attitude right now. Boom.
Oops.
See? Caught it. Oops. Got
I don't think
it.
you
In my
catching
hand.
anything.
But making sure that
All
you're
the body.
spending that time to let her know that you are connected, that you're grounded in the situation, right? Yeah. Because a lot of times we feel like you're so disconnected from what's happening because it's not happening to you, right? As we grow, we're like, it's only happening to us. Mm-hmm. Nothing is happening to you. And we get this like, you're so useless.
That's what you be feeling all the time.
Because we're watching your body not do anything. And the least you can do is go get me something. Go do this. Go do that. Go whatever. Maybe it's going to be wrong. Maybe it's not going to be wrong.
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
It's always the dice roll.
But just do it, right? This is the other thing that, like, I wish we could, like, if I had a megaphone and could like go around different communities, not just the Black community, just people in general. We don't oftentimes plan for babies. So we don't get to have these conversations, right? Nobody's having this conversation about what do we do for 9 months, 10 months. That's almost an entire year.
Oh, it is. Hey, it's over with.
What do we do while your hormones are shifting all over the place? What are we supposed to do with that? There might be some way to prepare for it, but we don't know.
Right.
We don't know because a lot of times we're not preparing to have a baby. And if we are preparing to have a baby, that's not part of the conversation.
Sure.
It's not. It's all the exciting stuff that's a part of the conversation.
What are
we going to name it?
We're
not even thinking about who's going to be our care provider, right? We're not even thinking that we have options. We're not thinking. So, so shifting back to the midwifery conversation, it's like we don't even recognize that there's somebody other than the doctor or somebody other than the hospital that can help us have a baby.
I promise I didn't know. I thought we only had that option. This is me. You see it on TV and you see it on movies and shit, but it's still like,
which is
real?
Because
so
like when you see it on movies, when you see people have, or not, I mean, maybe recently it's kind of changed a little bit, but when you see people have babies at home on a movie, it's an accident.
You're right.
Right? Like they did an accident or they have it in the car or like the ambulance. It's all that. It's an accident.
We actually had a friend that had a baby in the car last week.
I had a baby in the car.
Really?
One of my clients had a baby in the car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like, she wasn't trying to.
Nobody's ever trying to
having
have a
hope not.
She was going to a birthing center, but it happened in a matter of like 20 minutes.
Yep. And that's how fast it can happen because your body knows what it's doing.
But this was her fifth baby, so
her
body definitely knows.
No, she should have known now.
That
is hilarious.
My boy, right here. He's a doctor.
She was like, okay,
he's
feel contractions. So midwife was like, come in. They got in the car. Boom, head out.
Baby. Just like that. Just like that.
My boy turned to
I
a
said, if it
husband.
could all be so simple.
What's up?
Yeah. If everybody can have a baby like that, man, my job would be so easy.
But you don't want that, you need your job. You need your job.
That'd be so easy.
I have
But
another. Go.
Sorry, I was going to say, that is like an interesting outlook when you said, like, I guess you're not preparing or like having the conversations as far as like what you actually need during the pregnancy,
Right.
because most are unplanned.
Wants and
and
needs.
it's like, we tried for this baby, but we were not trying when I had the miscarriage. So when I had the miscarriage, we weren't trying, and it was just like, okay, well, we lost the baby, so let's try to make another.
Let's try to do it. Yeah.
But it still wasn't like a conversation of like,
What's the pregnancy
what do
going to
we
be like? What's that gonna, And I bet even for people who do plan, like you think about IVF people or like just people who are in there working with cycles and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They still don't have those kind of conversations. We don't have mental health conversations that surround parenthood because nobody's talking about that. Because we're all crying in the dark, wishing we would have never done this shit, and we feel like we can't tell anybody because we're like, "What do you mean? Blake's so cute. What do you mean? He's cute, but bro,
Let me tell you what.
he don't sleep. Like, what do you want from me?" So we don't even know to have these conversations because nobody is saying, "Hey, don't forget, you're gonna lose your mind. You probably should prepare for that."
Nobody knows.
Nobody's talking about it.
But nobody knows who to go to either, though.
Nobody knows who to go to, right? We're not building up the right resources, and that's why it's so important that here we function as a village.
Bingo.
We have some doulas in there right now. We have a mom in there right now. Babies are here right now. Like, we understand. The reason I built this is out of sheer personal experience. I felt so lost and alone after I had a baby, and my family was surrounding me. Yeah. Like, to feel lost and alone, and people are you're surrounded by people that care about you.
Wild.
That's a weird feeling. It's a terrible feeling, right? And then it's just like, if I say something to them,
now you the bad guy. We here for you. You ain't even utilizing your help. A lot of people don't even got help, but you complaining. I know the vibes.
And it's crazy because you really don't even have the words. Like, people will ask me what it was like when I had Blake. And I told them, I was like, I came home from the hospital. I just sat in my bed and cried. And Bear was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I
don't even know.
I'm walking around the house being me.
Yes.
We turned up to the max.
He's like, we got a baby. What's wrong?
She depressed.
I mean, it really is an experience that you really can't put it into words.
No. Because you change instantly.
You're a different person instantly. And sometimes, like when I'm when I'm working births with people, we take time to sit and like, let's sit with this for a second. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. It's the last time you guys are going to be the three of you, right? Like, when maybe like a month before my due date with Cruz, we took Kennedy down to Legoland in Atlanta. Don't take your children there. It's trash. Because somebody is like, Legoland in Atlanta.
I'm about to go right now.
No, bro. It's inside of Phipps Plaza.
Nah,
it's like if malls had drop-in care centers.
You drop the kids off.
It's that. But they don't let you drop your kid off there. It's like, this is not Legoland, bro. This is Lego Corner. This is not. It was terrible.
Lego Town.
He was only 3, though, so it worked, right?
Loved it.
We did this whole big, like, this is it. It's our last time being a family of 3. Mm-hmm. And actually, I had Cruz maybe like 2 or 3 days after me and her dad went on a date, because I was like, hey, this is it. Like, this is our last. You're not gonna be able to do it. Come on.
That's right.
So yeah, we did that, and she came a couple days later, and it's that. Like, so I always try to take a moment with my families in the birth. Like, hey, we're about to transition. This is it.
Let's just know
it's time. So we cry, we do whatever that you need to do, but there has to be a release there, because and there's a lot of subconscious releasing that happens during labor and delivery, and that's how the baby gets through. Right. So not to be all like crunchy home birth midwife, but
crunchy granola.
Right. Super granola. Because somebody's listening like, it's science. Like,
right? Not for real.
It's physiology.
You already know somebody saying
she pushes and the baby comes out. He's talking about. But it is. There's so many spiritual realms that you go through during labor and delivery, and so many things that you have to release, or the baby is not coming out.
Yeah, I believe.
I always make this joke that babies that don't have a name, and when everybody doesn't know the gender, they take longer.
Oh, we telling everybody the agenda and the name.
It take longer.
Soon.
Well, see, some people know, like I know, right? But
Our
like no, like
family
when you guys don't know, it's the parents. When the parents don't know the gender and you haven't decided a name, it's like the kid knows. Like, excuse you?
You gonna forget about me?
You're not even prepared for me.
We are.
You're just gonna let me show up? Like, really, bruh? That's how much you
It's so funny because I have a friend that's pregnant right now and she wants to wait. So I'm wondering what she's gonna say.
Yeah, let's do the experiment. Okay, hold on, friend. Don't find out, friend. We're gonna experiment with this because that's my theory. Is that they feel like they know you're not ready for them. They know you don't know.
Well, I'm ready.
They know you. They don't even have a name. They know. So there's so many things that you have to pass through to be able to release and say, okay, I'm surrendering to this moment. This is it. I'm about to have a baby. Mm-hmm. And so we go through those things, right? And that, honestly, we go through more of them when you're a doula client of mine. In my midwife mind, I don't really have time to go there with you because I'm making sure
everything else
my bosses
is right.
are checking every 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're good. Okay. All right, yeah, we're good.
Whole different ball game.
Then we can tell a joke, and then I'm like, all right,
we're back to it. Let's get ready. Let's get back on task here.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot that that I try to make sure we are addressing in you guys's what you had as we move into what you're having.
Nice,
right? So we also don't put enough emphasis on what you have right now in a pregnancy, right? Because we're focusing on the pregnancy. We're focusing on, okay, the baby's going to come and this is what we're going to do. But what about right now?
Yeah.
What about right now? Like, what would you be doing if you weren't growing a baby right now? What would be happening?
Party. We like the party.
I'm over him.
Hey.
She lives with him.
I know she's about to beat me
forever.
up. But Alva,
she agreed to it.
She know the vibes. She know the vibes. Listen.
She's strong as a mother.
I hate to cut the conversation short. We're coming up on time, you guys.
We're gonna have
part two.
We're gonna have to have a part two because there's so many other things.
When we do your home visit, because I have to come by and see where you live. And
that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I want to talk about. But in the meantime, in between time, tell them where they can find you, Kristin.
You guys can find me all over the place.
Talk to them.
Sadly enough. So on Instagram, on all social medias, you can find me at Homeland Heart, Birth and Wellness Collective. You can find me also on Instagram at Express Yourself. It's Expressed Yourself.
Talk.
And that is my lactation service. So if you need some help breastfeeding, there's that.
We ain't talk
where
about
else?
That.
You can find me here. Right. We got to do a part 2, maybe even part 3. You can find me here on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and every other Saturday. We are located in East Nashville, Homeland Heart Birth and Wellness Collective, 1610 Porter Road, Nashville, Tennessee. We give out free diapers and wipes to Black families every month. So if you need some diapers, come on in and grab them. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Free diapers and wipes. All you got to do is be Black and have a baby. That's it. That's all you got to do.
But how can somebody support it though? Like if they want to donate?
If you want to donate, all of our donation links are in our Instagram. So please, please, please donate. We run a reparations-based campaign is what I like to call it, because we as Black people did not put ourselves in the position that we are in with regard to our health. However, it's not only the white people's job to get us out. Again, we need to stop having such a consumerism mentality.
Come on now.
And we need to be taking care of ourselves. So with that said, it's not only white people money that's going to help us, but it's going to be Black people money too.
Guess what?
So,
at the end of the day, money is what? Green.
It's all green. And it helps pay my salary. So, yes, we do the Cash App, the PayPal, the Venmo, all the things, Homeland Heart. And yeah, I mean, come have some coffee with me or whatever. Slide in my DMs. We can talk about wherever you want to have your baby at.
India, tell the people where they can find you, girl. They know.
India.Marie on Instagram. I am nowhere else at this time in my life.
You know the vibes. You know the name of the game. You know the name of the game. Be Love 1911 on all social platforms. Please be sure to follow She and Our Podcast on Instagram. Leave us a message at She and Our Podcast at gmail.com. And everywhere else, man, we love to hear from you. Watch it on YouTube. It's an audio/video
visual
experience. Video. Check us out. In the meantime, in between time, it's been real. It's been fun. She's out.